Are you go, go, go and work is your default? Are you realizing you don't really have a lot of free time or you're not prioritizing it? Then this is for you, because I'm going to talk about how to spend more time doing the things that you love. Hello, lovely dynamic women. I am Diane Rolston, your host. And today, I'm going to talk about how to spend time doing the things you love. But first off, why does it even matter? Why does it even matter? I love playing soccer. I've played soccer since, I don't know, my parents put me in as a little kid, and I still play, and I'm 42 now and I still play. However, there have been times over the past couple of years that I haven't been able to play, that I had sprained my ankle, and then I got that better, but then my knee was triggered. The one I tore my ACL playing rugby, that the pain of that came back. And then for some reason, I had this thing in my back that was causing it to spasm. And then I got ready to come back, and then I rolled my ankle walking on a path. And then I come back after all of that only to get COVID and have to miss another 6.5 weeks of soccer because I had that cough and I didn't have the lung capacity to be able to play. Now, why am I telling you this story? Because I realized how much I love playing soccer. And it wasn't until I wasn't able to do it. Yes, there's times I can't do it because I'm away or I'm doing work stuff, but that's understandable. But it's when I want to play and I can't play that I realized just the sadness. When I got COVID and that I couldn't go back, I was so upset. When I rolled my ankle, I was crying on the ground, not because of the pain. I was crying because I was so frustrated that I wasn't able to play anymore. Now I'm back playing now. However, it is a long road to get fit and able to play fully again. So I'm telling you this story because doing what you love is something, these things give you energy. They put you in a resonant state where you're driven and you're pulled forward and you're excited. They give you energy and joy. But when we just work all the time, and maybe your work gives you joy and my work gives me joy, but that's not the only area of life that can give us joy. If you think of the 10 areas of life, what I see so often is successful, high achieving, driven women, we give up or we reduce the amount of attention that certain areas get because we are working and we are driven by our work, but we can also have joy and satisfaction in other areas. So the top areas that kind of get dropped are health, fun and recreation, and friends. Those three I see the most often. And so just take a moment right now, because you grab a pencil and pen, and or paper and pen or your computer, whatever, and jot these things down. The hardest question sometimes to answer is, what do I like to do? What do I like to do when I'm not working? It's funny, when I used to be an ESL teacher and I was living and working in Japan, one of the top questions that they learned in the beginning, or that come out in English conversations when they're socializing, is, what are your hobbies? And it was so weird because I thought, we never really ask each other, what are your hobbies, right? We don't say that, but what we might say is, what do you like to do? So what do you like to do? I mean, like you like to do it. You might say, I like to clean. Definitely not true about me, but you might say, I like to clean. But I'm encouraging you to go to something else that fully will bring you joy, right? That grows you, that brings you energy. So it might be like, I like to bake. I like to read. I like to paint. I like to see movies. I like to hang out with my friends. I like to go on hikes. I like to play the piano. I like to garden, right? So now we're getting in the realm of hobbies, personal activities that bring us joy. And then you think about what are the things you love to do? I love playing soccer. I love hanging out with my friends. I love traveling. These are the things I love to do. But when we think of spending time or investing time in the things we love, so often our time gets put into the things maybe we don't love, or the things we don't even realize we're choosing to spend our time. And by spend, I mean it's gone, right? This came up for me, and I'm going to get to the 3 things that you can do to help you to spend more time doing the things you love. But I remember saying to someone the other day that I just don't have time to read. Just don't have time to read. And then I think, if I added up all the minutes of me scrolling on my phone in downtime, or how many Netflix shows or TV shows that I'd PVR'd that I watched, I could have been reading instead. I do love reading. I love hearing stories of people's lives. More so, I love reading personal development, professional development, or listening to books. I'm currently listening to Les Brown, Simon Sinek, Power of Why, these different types of books. And I love it. And I yearn for more of it. But the problem is, when we're away from it, we forget what it's like. We forget what we love to do. So have you written some stuff down? What do you like to do? What do you love to do? And the third piece on this is, what's something you'd like to do? You would like to do. You haven't done it before. And so when I asked myself this question a couple of years ago before COVID, I answered African drumming. I also answered dancing. These are some things I'd like to do. I also answered pottery. So more creative, artistic things. And so I wrote those things down, and I chose African drumming. So let's go through the 3 ways now to spend more time doing these things. You might want to, before you go through this, you might want to just see, where am I spending my time? Where am I using it wisely? But where am I just kind of frivolously, you know what I mean? Frivolously using my time, where I'm not even being intentional. So the first thing to do is, you actually have to plan these things into your schedule. So if it's not already innate to you to read every day, and you like reading, and work is your default, or watching TV or scrolling or whatever it may be, cleaning, then you actually need to write it into your schedule between 7:30 and 8 a.m. or between 8 and 9 p.m. reading. You have to actually write it in your schedule book. If you don't, it just gets pushed and pushed and pushed and forgotten. So plan it into your schedule, because then when it comes to that time and you see it, and I'm looking at my schedule book right now, when I see that thing sitting in my schedule book at that time, I then have to make a conscious decision not to do it. If maybe I wouldn't. But how many times do we write in our schedule or have in our calendar, scroll Facebook aimlessly? Watch 3 hours of Netflix or TV or whatever it may be. Now, I'm not saying these are bad things. I'm just saying, if you're not doing the things you love because you're doing these other things, maybe it's time to put a plan in your schedule. So the second thing you can do is make it special. Make it special. So if you're going to read that book, maybe you also make a cup of tea, or you curl up with your favorite blanket on the couch, or you light a candle to do some painting, or you buy yourself a new piano book to be playing on because you love playing piano. So think about, how can you make it special? How can you elevate what you're doing so that you start to look forward to it? Maybe you get yourself a new book. Maybe it's not just the typical, I'm going to go hiking down the street at the trail that I normally go on, but instead you decide, I'm going to go on like a 1-day hike, or I'm going to go to a new place and hike. Or maybe your favorite thing is to experience great coffee. And so why not go to a new coffee house, a new location, or just drive and find one, or look at reviews? Like, doesn't that now sound more appealing and more special? And if you were to write that in your planner, in your schedule, it makes it more enticing. And you shouldn't have to have things that you love be enticing, but the problem is we've moved so far away sometimes from fun that it feels too much, like too foreign, and maybe like it's just a guilty pleasure and we shouldn't do it. But if we plan it and we make it special, then maybe we're persuaded to do it. Now, the third thing is, and this is going to help you if you're not persuaded to do it and you keep kind of pushing that aside to work, work, work. The third thing is commit to others. You will not find me practicing my soccer skills at the local park. However, you will find me at training, at my practice with the team, in order to get better at the thing I love. When I did the drumming class, sometimes I didn't want to go. And you know why? Because in the beginning, it was hard. It was so hard. I thought it would be easy. I thought it would be super cool. And it was cool, but it was not easy. And so I had to commit to being there, paying, also saying I would show up so that I would go, because I had to get through that first like learning hump. And that might be your case if you're like, but I love swimming and I haven't been forever, or I love hiking, but I'm out of shape, or I used to really love playing guitar, but I just haven't done it forever and I'm gonna suck. When you commit to others, you won't back out. When you commit to others, you then get to commit to yourself and enjoy that thing. Now, it doesn't mean you have to do that thing with others, right? But maybe instead you commit on social media, right? Telling people what you're going to do. Maybe you commit to accountability buddy or to your coach that you're going to do something. And again, it seems funny that you need to commit to something that you love, but time and time again, work is default for people. Clients that I work with, work is default, and they're not spending that downtime, investing in the downtime and the things they love to bring the passion back, to refill their bucket. There's so many holes oftentimes in the bucket that we maybe do the self-care and we maybe take a rest and we maybe have vacation time, but doing things that you love is an investment in yourself, in really building that foundation of joy, excitement. And it's a way for you to stretch and grow yourself as well. So in saying this, I'm probably also speaking to myself, right? I need to put the clicker down and not watch so much TV. I need to be more intentional with what I am spending my time on so that I can be investing my time in the things that I love. So I encourage you to do the same thing. Let me know which of these 3 steps, planning it in your schedule, making it special, and committing to others, is going to be the piece that really helps you to invest more time in doing the things you love. Also, let me know in the comments, what are the things you love to do? Because maybe in you sharing that would inspire me or someone else to take up that hobby that you have or that favorite activity. And I encourage that you do that because, life is so short, so short. Over the past few years, I have lost a few connections way too early. And it just breaks my heart to think of how they or someone else, maybe worked really, really hard and didn't have enough time to enjoy life. So be present, take care of others, and go out and do those things you love. Make sure you hit subscribe, share with a friend who needs to hear this message, and write us a review. Until next time, stay dynamic. Bye.